So the crypto markets are looking nasty. We have saw a massive sell-off and liquidation event take place exactly with, Bitcoin hitting 86,000. And this is where I pretty much wanted to make a full video saying that everyone in the crypto space lied to you, talking about how altcoin season was already going to be happening at the end of the year and how everything was going to be exploding. And I'll even take a little bit of accountability based off of all the perspectives and everything. I was also talking about altcoin season in the previous year whenever Trump was moving into office and everyone was feeling super bullish about exactly how he was going to be freeing the crypto markets and everyone was going to get rich. But then
I said, hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right.
We saw Trump enter the office. From there, he started changing a whole bunch of different stuff. He implemented tariffs, and then, government shutdown occurred, a lot of different moving parts. And what's really crazy is that everyone has been stemming everything off of the 4-year cycle. And me, if you go look at any of my content, this is pretty much my first actual cycle. I've been keeping up with all the different perspectives, analyzing how liquidity moves, focusing on what indicators are actually important, like USDT dominance, Bitcoin dominance, the M2 money supply, and just pretty much deciphering all of the garbage news and information in the crypto space and pretty much making concise videos anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, letting you know exactly what is going on. And as I have progressed and, kept on going into my crypto journey, and I can't wait till, I'm half a decade into this, a decade into it, because from there I'm going to be able to see multiple cycles, understand multiple different perspectives. And based off of what I'm understanding, everyone says every cycle is different, but there's always a point in the cycle where everyone feels like everything's dead and then we pop off. Everyone's calling this cycle an extended cycle. Everyone is talking about the business cycle. There's a whole bunch of different things, but what you really need to understand is that everyone in the crypto space that's preaching to you a specific narrative, unless there's someone like Dr. Profit, which has been pretty spot on all the shorts that you should have been putting in, no one truly knows what's going to happen. And anyone that's spewing euphoria to you, of course, we want to be euphoric. We have altcoin portfolios. They're getting absolutely destroyed right now. But at the end of the day, don't take everybody's word for what it is, because at the end of it all, the crypto space is a very, very lucrative space for individuals that preach euphoria. Those are the people that, are consistently making money because at the end of the day, they have communities, they have all these different moving parts, they're selling memberships, they're doing all this stuff. And that's why I haven't bought a, private Discord group. I haven't done anything like that. You can really be self-taught by actually focusing on a good following list and just progressing with that basic knowledge. And I also have been talking about how, you should be buying altcoins. And honestly, in the last few months, I have not once told you need to be buying altcoins right now. All I have said is that we are pretty much in a horrible spot for altcoins. Liquidity is just getting beat out of every altcoin in the market. So the worst thing you can do is possibly sell your assets whenever they're down 80%. Now, are we already bottoming for Bitcoin? I mean, everybody has been saying we're bottoming for Bitcoin, but we keep testing specific zones. We've already, after Nvidia's earnings yesterday, we've already put all that back into the market, returned all of it. And this is where I really believe there's just pretty much a play going into how smart money moves and retail investors like you and me. And this is where I think a lot of people have already exited the markets. Like I said, consistent liquidations are taking place. So people are in leverage positions, hoping that everything is going to pop off, or pretty much also in short positions and they're generating revenue. So at some point there is going to be a shift. One of the biggest things that everyone is, pointing towards is quantitative easing and expansion. Whenever, it's going to be the opposite of what we've been seeing with quantitative tightening around the Fed. Fed rate cuts don't look too hot already in December, so that's also not good. And Ethereum more than likely is going to be still bleeding compared to Bitcoin based off of how Bitcoin dominance has been moving. So there's a lot of different moving parts, but I think the biggest thing is that most influencers and kols and people that you guys follow on Twitter, YouTube, X, wherever you want to call it, they're preaching you something that isn't completely entirely true. Yes, they're going to be right whenever liquidity moves back into altcoins, but they can get wrecked multiple different times, be down millions and millions of dollars, whereas a retail investor that, has $1,000 to invest in the market, $5,000, $10,000, they don't want to get as destroyed as these huge big players because we are normal individuals. Now, I plan on not being a normal individual. That's why I day trade. That's why I do all these different moving parts. And I honestly suggest that you do the same as well, because this world is getting really, really crazy and AI is going to be taking over a whole bunch of different stuff. But the main point that I'm trying to get at is that no one knows what they're talking about. Even me, when I'm giving you the perspectives around analysts and traders, it's based off of previous price action, what we have previously seen and what is currently taking place. We look at how liquidity is positioning, we look at how wells are positioning, we look at the inflows and the outflows, and we look at all the different moving parts. But history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. I'll say it again, history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. So it's not gonna look entirely the same. A lot of people are gonna get wrecked. This is why most people in the crypto markets never see profit. And in my first cycle, I planned to generate revenue. I made a decent amount of money throughout all of the different phases in the 2024 phase and also in 2023 because we saw specific sectors blow up. It was the AI sector, AI agents, meme coins, RWA. There's a few different sectors that were just popping off at different times because they had a whole bunch of hype behind them. And right now, there is no hype. We're seeing the government, have to catch up based off of everything that is going on with the government shutdown. We see the tariffs and all the easing with all the, communications and deals slowly commencing. And on top of that, we've been dealing with, countless wars and all these other different things. This cycle is so different, but I think, if you're someone that has been here for multiple cycles, I don't see why you would be telling everyone that everything is just going to explode already, especially individuals that don't have as much capital, time, and resources as you. So I'm trying to be real with you, let you know that most people in the crypto space, while they, have decent intentions, at least some of them, most of them don't really care what's going on with your portfolio. They don't care how much money you're investing. They don't care how down you are. They know that liquidity is going to shift and they're pretty much playing their game, and they go and they give you a little bit of a tweet to give you their perspective on a project or an asset or what's happening in the market, and you do not need to take it verbatim. At the end of the day, I try to keep you guys updated on the day-to-day events, price action around Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, actual perspectives from analysts and traders around Bitcoin and Ethereum on a macro lens, what to focus on for altcoins as well, and everything else in between. But I realized today, I was like, I was pretty much lied to by a lot of these influencers and kols. At the end of the day, they don't have a crystal ball, so no blame on them, but they're preaching to huge audiences, and I'm here deciphering all of these different perspectives, news, indicators, all this good stuff, and I'm trying to give it to y'all. And this is where I'm telling you that I was wrong, thinking that altcoin season was just gonna happen after that 4-year cycle that was gonna take place apparently, and so were a lot of other people. But I don't see anyone making a video saying, hey, I was wrong. I pretty much told y'all this was gonna happen and it didn't. They're just saying, well, it's still gonna be happening. It's just, a longer cycle. We're in an extended cycle. So what does that even mean, bro? Like, obviously, altcoins are gonna be getting liquidity moving into 2026 and Bitcoin's gonna be crashing significantly, but no one knows when exactly. So just take that into consideration. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, please drop it down below. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been showing me on my channel. I really try to show up every day and give you guys real information and not filler bullcrap that just doesn't matter. Right now, markets are dumping significantly. We have some key news events that have been happening this week, which has been causing a lot of the volatility in the market. And wrapping up the week tomorrow, I'm gonna give you a full market update on everything that's happening. But in today's video, I wanted to be real with you and just let you know that I was wrong. I thought that altcoins were just gonna pop off, and even in my head I was like, this just sounds too simple when I was talking to my brother literally a few months ago, and literally how liquidity moves, this extended cycle, institutions getting into Bitcoin, Ethereum, we have ETFs now, staking, like it's getting really crazy. So take all the information you get with a grain of salt. If you guys have any questions, drop it down below. I'll try to answer any questions that you have. And tomorrow, I'll give you a full update on what is happening, why the markets are dumping significantly, and if a bottom is in sight. All right, don't capitulate your bags. Hold on to those altcoins even though they're down significantly. And hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. Peace.